They named us beasts. When the Arcalis first looked upon humanity, they saw only our ragged breath, our scarred skin, our sharp eyes that scanned the horizon for threats. They watched us build homes from shattered starship hulls and scavenged metal. They watched us fight off wild storms on barren exoplanets, howling into the wind with bloody knuckles and fierce smiles. To them, we were nothing but animals, violent, unpredictable, untamed. Their emissaries arrived draped in shimmering cloaks of starlight, voices as smooth as drifting auroras. They spoke of higher order, of celestial refinement, of a society beyond emotion and pain. Their cities floated above the clouds like crystal sanctuaries. Every movement, every breath among them, measured and graceful. When they finally descended to meet us face to face, they wore expressions of cautious disgust. We smelled like sweat and wildflowers. Our hands bore calluses from rebuilding fallen shelters and burying our dead. We looked up at them, covered in soot and starlight dust, and grinned. They declared us beasts in their council halls. Their historians wrote of humans as an error in the tapestry of life, a savage footnote unworthy of cosmic inheritance. But we did not hear them as they meant it. We heard the word beast, and we laughed, for we knew beasts protect their own. Beasts love fiercely, cry loudly, forgive slowly but wholly. In the darkest season, when solar winds scorched our crops and plague devoured our breath, a single Arcali child drifted down to the surface. She was small, almost translucent, her filaments trembling in the night air. She had fled from her own people, frightened by their unyielding perfection, terrified by their silent halls. We found her curled beneath an overturned water barrel, gasping for warmth. A human woman, Miri, took off her jacket and wrapped it around the tiny figure without hesitation. Others gathered, offering sweet tea brewed from moss leaves, slices of rock fruit, warm hands on cold shoulders. At first, the child trembled, whispering warnings of contamination, of untouchable flesh. But Miri simply held her tighter, humming old earth lullabies under the star-scattered sky. When the Arcali emissaries arrived to reclaim the girl, they found her laughing in the dirt, hair tangled with wildflower petals, paint smudges on her translucent cheeks. They saw humans gathered around a fire, sharing stories and singing songs, weaving garlands for each other as though they'd always known her. "Release her," they commanded. "Return her to purity." But the child clung to Miri's hand, her tiny voice shaking. "I don't want to go back. Please. Here, they see me." Miri looked at the emissaries with eyes fierce and gentle all at once. "She's family now," she said simply. The Arcali watched in disbelief as humans embraced her words. They expected us to snarl and bare fangs, to fight them tooth and claw. Instead, they found an unbreakable softness, a warmth that welcomed even the ones who named us monsters. Slowly, hesitantly, some Arcali began to return. They stood on the edges of our gatherings, silent, afraid of the sticky sweetness of our fruit pies, the echoing laughter from our muddy games. But we reached out, offered them plates, taught them to dance beneath falling leaves and starlight rain. The day came when the Arcali leaders descended one last time. They carried heavy scrolls of law, demanding we cease emotional infection. Yet one by one, they watched as their own children, changed by human warmth, pressed painted hands against their crystal robes, whispering, "Family." What the Arcali never understood was that humanity was never only about survival. We stitched our hearts into each other, built bridges from pain to joy, turned strangers into kin. They had named us beasts to shame us, but we took that word and wore it like a crown. For beasts know how to guard their pack. Beasts know how to share warmth in endless winters. Beasts know the fierce, irrational power of love that no logic can command. By the time the stars turned once more, the Arcali abandoned their floating citadels. They joined our villages, learned to mold clay mugs and plant moss gardens. They listened to our children's songs at dawn and wept, real, unmeasured tears that washed away centuries of sterile silence. We were never beasts alone in the cold. We became something wilder, gentler, stronger. And in the end, they named us family. But we had already chosen them as ours long before.